Iei mauri ora, manawa tina, manawa toka, tēnei hoki tō manawa ka tina, tēnei hoki tō manawa ka toka, tēnei hoki tō manawa ka pautaiaki, te ina noho tō manawa, he manawa ora, he ora, haumi e hui e taiaki. E te wānui e ngā tae wā, nau mai hara mai, wakatau mai ki te rohe o te rāki pai whenua. Ko rangi tōtō te moana, maunga, ko waitamata te moana, ko te hā, te awa, ko mahu ki te rangi te waka, ko Ngāti whātua rā kei te iwi, ko Ngāti pāo te manawa whenua. Kei ko nei mātou, ki te tautoko i te kaupapa o tēnei wakataitai, ki te poioka o te Aotearoa. Tēnā koe, ko Bevan Martini ahau, māua, ko a.k.a. Chopper's second hand, Damien, nau mai hara mai. Tēnā koe, Damien, morena.
Morena, Bevan Martini. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day number 3 of the 2024 National Fast Pitch Championship. We're coming to you live from Pure Athletic Sports Stadium here at Rosedale Park in the beautiful North Shore, North Harbour. We are on the penultimate day. We are heading towards the business end. And what a battle we've got to start off your third day. It's the Battle of the 04. Hutt Valley taking on Wellington. Damien Collins here for the play-by-play for Ballpark Broadcasting, and calling the colour in the booth, Bevan Martini.
Tēnā koe. Wellington off to a great start here. He tānei mumu pop out to right field, and then
No balls, 2 strikes.
Riley Markia stand up KC to Shah Saul Wallace. So a great start here for Pōneke. Ki te tangata whenua. Epa. Ko tai mai nei te kai rākau a George McCarroll. O te hore. Tēnā koe hore.
Yeah, George McCarroll in the 3 spot for Hutt Valley here. His second year of NFC, was the bolter last year. One of the youngest to put on the Hutt Valley jerseys in recent history for sure. Had a good off season. Was away with the Junior Black Sox that went to the World Cup in Mexico, and ended up in the top 5, I think, in top batting in the world. So he can definitely put back to ball.
Yeah, definitely one of the star players across there in Mexico, and Umasil. George did an outstanding job with a very consistent day in, day out, and deserved the rewards that he did get through that. But obviously, you have to put in the hard work, as everybody knows, and he did that on the off-season with his whānau. So, yeah, great to see him back here again and competing, and, who knows, we may see this young man's name in lights in this year or next year, heading away with our men's team, if he continues to produce what he's doing.
Yeah, well, absolutely, Beaver. He gets the walk, he'll make his way to first base, and that's going to bring up to bat Dallas Clifton, first baseman. Dallas out of the Hutt Valley Dodgers club. Was in the Junior Black Sox in the 2020 World Cup in Palmerston North. Playing first for this one. But a bit of a utility is Adeli. Brad Baker in the coach's box at third.
And a rose ball high, 2 balls.
2 very different contrasts here with the Hutt Valley Wellington sides. 1-9 for Wellington, just absolute experience, and then you've got the youth and the up and comers from Hutt Valley. Always a good battle between the two from the 04. McCarroll still second base.
On a great pitch to steal as well, on a change-up. It's probably the best chance you got of getting in there, and he did well.
We do have super slow-mo action replays this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully these boys are leaving on time.
Oh, you push it to the boundaries. Got te kaiwawau kei tērā, kei waho i te tākaro. Te matua Lance Brown.
2-2's on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And as T-Bone said yesterday, nobody hitting on the 2-2-2. Count goes 3-2. Dels Clifton seeing some pitches here to open his account today. Riley Markey on the hill for Wellington. Goes inside. And that should be a war. Yep. Here, Lance in the background. That's definitely ball 4.
Hoi wha, hikoi, ki te papatahi, Dallas.
Runners in first and second.
Ka huri rauna ki te Kaioma.
And we've got the DR coming in.
The DR, Jakan Roberts, will come in for a run. Jakan, a handy outfielder, doing the running for this one. Logan O'Leary into the batter's box now for Hutt Valley. Out of the Hutt City United club. Previously a good club in Upper Hutt, you might know, Kevin.
Yeah, I think I've donned the colours on the old, the blue and gold.
That's the one.
Many moons ago, I come across a photo that I might show you a bit later on, so you can see when that I have.
I think I've got that photo with the Mitsubishi Mirage in the background in Atiawa Park.
Yeah, you would have been bloody a teeny bopper then.
Oh, mate.
Frick. There's our coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. I almost got those uniforms remade this year, but we went a different direction. Exciting times. O'Leary sees the 2 pitches, both of them balls. Hutt Valley 2 runners on. Well, they go for the pick-off at 2, and that's what you can do when you've got Tueta Bishop behind the dish.
Tēnō tata.
You would be appreciated in the confidence of the catchers to just let rip with the ball and have their fielders back them up.
Yeah, you know, and Riley's struggling a bit here too as well. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to help your pitcher get out of the spot and give him an opportunity to get out of there. So obviously if the runners take a bit further than they need to go, you're just keeping them honest to make things a bit easier. But, yep.
3-1 count now for O'Leary. And he gets him swinging to load the count. 3-2.
We've got a full count. 3 and 2, 2 outs.
Inside pitch fouled out. O'Leary, previously a catcher himself. Still catches now and then, predominantly playing outfield these days, or a designated player role with his handy stick. Had some shoulder injuries in the past, but seems to have put that behind him. Dead ball. Going straight down and popping back to the shoulder I just talked about.
Poro mate, dead ball.
Not a cloud in the sky over Rosedale Park here this morning on day 3 of the 2024 NFC.
He hikoi anō. E toru nā hikoi.
Loads the bags.
Te here taunga.
3 walks in a row for Riley Markia. And that's going to bring to bat the designated player pitcher, Lucas Lohman from the Czech Republic, one of the many imports that Hutt Valley have this season. And of course, playing out of the Hutt Valley Maris Club, he qualifies for this team with the just one import rule. Slams it up the middle. Kieran Bolger gets back. He has to make a jump. Tries to get the quick out at second base, but Hutt Valley will open their account.
Little one with a infield single, safety on
No,
to,
he tino pai.
Bankstall Road and brings in the first run for Hutt Valley.
Kieran Bolger,
Take the early
you know, just keeping it in there. Otherwise, you know, they would have scored 2 runs there and keeping it tight and tried to make the play. But, you know, he did an outstanding job of just making sure they only scored 1 run. Kapai.
Kieran still only about 18, 19 years old. 19, I think he is.
Great skills right there. You know, going backwards, backhand, trying to make the out, still aware of what's going on.
Already has 2 Junior World Cups under his belt. And you see that class by trying to make those plays. Into bat now for Hutt Valley is Josh McCarroll playing at centre field. George's big brother. Of course, these kids are growing up around the game. The McCarrolls with their father Grant being a Hall of Fame manager of the Black Sox in the early 2000s.
And Morena Fingers, I know you're there watching. Oh.
Just a bit of hesitation on the steal there from Jakan Roberts. Didn't realise it had really gone away from Tuita Bishop behind. But Corey Timu comes in and scoops it up and gets the tag in time. And that will retire the side. But not before Hutt Valley open their account. It's 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first.
I can't promise you that things will always go the way we want. But I can promise you one thing, that if we fight through the pain together, if we strive every day to make each other better, if we learn to communicate and never lose sight of that vision, then we will surprise people. So don't settle for being a good player. Don't settle for being a good team. Aspire to something great, know in your heart that this team is special. Look at the players around you and make that commitment to them right here, right now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching day 3 of the National Fast Pitch Championship 2024. We're at the bottom of the first, and it's the battle of the 04. Wellington up against Hutt Valley. Wellington and Hutt Valley have opened their account. 1-0. And here is Wellington's first reply with the bats. And in the leadoff spot now, the designated player, the man, the myth, the legend, Wayne Laulu. Apparently I'm too nice to him and so should tell more stories. We'll see. We'll see.
And
the
you know
stories of Lala we can't really tell everyone, can we?
you know, and he's a stalwart of the game, and great to see him being lead off here. You know, he's putting pressure straight off the bat. It's probably not a guy that you really want to start off the game facing. And obviously Wellington here set a precedent, you know, sending up Wayne and then Jerome straight after it. So
oh yeah,
Wellington definitely in attacking mode.
Yeah, it's bang, 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 power, power, power. And we'll get to know the batting lineup of Wellington. They've kept it pretty much the same in their games so far in this tournament. You hear the nah from Lala echo across the infield. The 1-1 count now. Lumen on the hill. in the designated player role. They've made the switch straight away to start him.
Yeah, and if you see Hutt Valley have set up, and Tane Mumu's come across to field in that gap of the shortstop, understanding that Wayne's a pull hitter, so they're trying to cut down his avenues of getting a base hit, but the ball's still going to come to you at 100 miles an hour. Though.
Sure will. Sure will. That's what Lala does. Yeah, as I said earlier, very young side of Hutt Valley here, and probably one of the most experienced ones is Tane Mumu, and he's still only 20, 21 years old, with that World Cup under his belt and a under 23s World Cup as well.
Oh, kikita pai. Karawe.
Rung up on the KC from Brown.
Bit outside, but you can't leave it to the umpire to make that call of 50-50. So you obviously Lance has set his zone, and you got to go with it now.
Absolutely. Well, from Wayne Lolu to Jerome Ramaki. First pitch just outside from Lohman. Rome, probably one of the most feared hitters in the world over the last few years. The big presence in the lefty batting just takes up all that batter's box with that stature of himself.
Three balls, no strikes.
Three balls,
toru.
no.
Ai. Koi toru. Ko puta kotahi.
Mikey leaves that one through the zone for the 3-1 count. Now they've got Zah and Tane on the second base side. Hutt Valley obviously doing their homework.
And they're just trying to make things easier for themselves, having three people on one side of the diamond is easier to field than there is two, and closes those gaps down, and and again, Jerome's not one that's going to hit the ball soft to you, so
Definitely not. Pretty experienced coaching side for Hutt Valley. Stevie Dean's head coach, Brad Baker assistant, Trevor Evans in there as well.
And a dead ball. Right in the box, still full count, 1 out.
you got the old heads in the coaching staff, and you got the young fellas out there in between the white lines.
Well, you definitely need a bit of balance in this sport for sure. I'd like to see the age average between the two teams as well.
I think
No disrespect to Lala, but
I think the coaching staff's brought it up for Hutt Valley.
Very true.
Yeah, but
Oh, Gino's no spring chicken though. Still runs around like he is, but Mikey making Lohman throw some pitches.
and exactly what we saw from Hutt Valley, make them throw pitches, and that's what they ended up with, those 3 walks, in a row, and scoring that run.
Goes down swinging, does Jerome
Strike 3 out.
for strike 3, and that will be the second outs
Catcher.
in the bottom of the first.
18 to win a Bishop.
E tino pai,
On deck. number
kai pa,
23.
a Lucas Harawe. O ki ta pai, ano, na poneke.
Into bat now is the catcher, Tueta Bishop. Top batter or MVP, I can't remember which one it was for NFC last year. it was pretty handy that Lala was batting behind him because he got a few strikes that tournament. Tweeder Bishop, catcher for the Black Sox as well. Handy baseball player as well. Had a few years away from the game, concentrating on that. But back now under the Porirua City United club, which is stacked these days. One count.
Looks like the theme of the day for Hiratonga. They're definitely going to play that shift on the infield and for each of these hitters, understanding that none of them will drive the ball the other side, or they're just keeping the ball in tight to make them hit that ball that way. So well done, good work, Hiratonga.
In the dirt, count of 3-1.
3 ball, 1 strike.
3-1 the count. Park starting to have more people dribble in. Great facilities here at Rosedale Park.
Hikoi.
Bishop gets the walk here and he'll stand up on first base and call time and have Aaron Gollan come out and do some running for him.
Right. Te teina e tino tiri a Aaron Gollan.
Into bat now is the first baseman Corey Timu, also playing out of the PCU, Porirua City United club these days.
Yeah, up.
One for the roof. Just a couple seasons ago, Corey was wearing the green and gold while playing for Hutt Valley Dodgers. Had a break last year, didn't go to NFC down in Christchurch in October, and I don't blame him, it was freezing. NFC during that weather is just not right.
Yeah, it's never the time in regards to having NFC in the early part of the season, but due to different circumstances, it had to happen. But
Oh, 100%. It did. Gave our boys a chance to get that ball in and get the campaign going for the World Cup. It was just freezing. On one count.
Oh, kua puta.
Well, he got him leaving early. Aaron Gollan, second time this tournament, he's been called leaving early. And that will be the third out. So they retain the donut in the bottom of the first. We'll go to the top of the first with Hutt Valley leading 1-0. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top of the second innings of the Battle of the 04. Hutt Valley taking on Wellington. Leading off for Hutt Valley is Josh McCarroll, of course. With that out in the last at bat, he retains the current batter's position. First offering from Riley Mark here is a called strike. Josh was away with that junior Black Sox team in Mexico as one of the trainers. He's been studying in Otago for the last few years.
Yeah, and it's good to see, people with experience of understanding softball coming into our game and not having to educate those people. And hopefully, with him going down and completing his degree as tohu, he can come back and be added into our national teams to be able to share his knowledge that he's got, and then to do that strength and conditioning and those sorts of things.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go down swinging on the strikeout for the first outs. And with one down, that's going to bring to bat the catcher, Caleb Taylor. A few nicknames does Caleb have. Cowboy being one of them.
Bongo being another one.
That's the one.
But great to see him sticking in there and being behind the dish and being probably one of the older members as well.
Oh, yeah, true. Very true.
Of this team.
So experienced in this team at 21 years old. The only boy so far that has cost me a pair of Jordans making a New Zealand World Cup side.
Geez, I wish you were around when I was there.
I'd be broke. I'd be broke. No, I make a deal with a few of the nephews that if you make a World Cup side, I'll buy you the black on black to go with the uni, etc. And so far, Bungle's the only one to step up to the challenge.
O ki te pai, Caleb. E tino pai te timata a Riley Markia.
Quick 2 strikeouts for Riley Markia. And that's going to bring to bat the 9-batter Jackson Baldwin. Jax has had absolutely outstanding last couple years. Part of that Hutt Valley side that went undefeated in the 19s at Fraser Park in January. Part of the 17s that went undefeated in Pukekohe last year. Jackson always also making the tournament team and getting tournament MVP at the 19s. So he's a baller from the hot corner. We just got to sort out that here.
Yeah, well.
Great kid, this one.
These are the things you do when you're young.
Indeed,
You try these things. And you regret it when photos come in 20 years' time.
Down the hot corner to his counterpart, Jerome Raumaki, and not a lot gets past him. He makes the play over to Timu, and it's a quick 1-2-3, and that will retire Hutt Valley as we go to the bottom of the second. Hutt Valley leading 1-0.
Jerky presents Hangry Moments.
What's your kitty's name?
It's a Homer. Thank you. Jack Link's Jerky, the protein-packed way to feed your wild side.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the bottom of the second, Wellington taking on Hutt Valley here on day 3, the penultimate day of the National Fast Pitch Championship. Up to bat now is the first baseman, Corey Timu. Inside pitch
And inside for ball.
for ball 2.
Poirua.
With the hopper, Zarshaw Wallace makes that play over to Clifton for the first outs.
The ground out number 1, brings to bat. Pitcher number 15, Riley.
But as you can see, like, you know, with the way Hutt Valley are fielding there, you know, with Zar playing in the hole, he's running towards the ball to make the throw. He's not running away from in towards third base to make that throw. So, you know, just making things easy for themselves.
Riley Markia up to bat now. Riley can definitely give the ball a ride. I've seen it. One count. Here's a few names you would have watched grow up in this team as well. Even.
Yeah, that's right.
1 ball 2.
That's many moons ago, though. Ngā rao mua, back in the old days.
Gets the outside pitch and finds that gap with the boys set up on the left-hand side. Punches it to the right. Good placement.
Yeah, and it doesn't help, you know, if he's going to go outside, you know, and you've made that shift, you've got to stay with the ball on the inside. And if you're going to throw outside to the top batter so far in this tournament, you know, he's just going to go out there and drive the ball that way, you know. It's outstanding hitting by Riley. As you can see here, you know, they're setting up outside. Everyone's playing on the left side of the diamond and right there, straight there, you know.
Isn't it?
Routine ground ball for second baseman, but, you know, well done. Outstanding hitting by Riley.
Yeah.
Top boy.
Absolutely. Aaron Golan come out to do the running for Riley Markia. And that's going to bring into bat Jaden Stratford, the second baseman.
Jaden's playing second base for Porneke at the moment, you know, and he's probably can play any position. To be honest with you, he can play at third base and behind the dish, very tidy behind the dish. But when you've got 2 other catchers with the caliber that they have, you know, for him to get out and play at second base is very good.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very handy behind the dish, but of course with Tueta and Corey. But being able to play another position and play at this level, take note, young ballers.
O ke kita pai, he tino pai.
And
Te he pakirunga.
strike 3 out number 2.
He goes down swinging on the strikes,
Number 4, Takiraka Cooper Nicola.
and that's going to bring to bats the
Number 13, Damon.
centre fielder Takiraka Cooper Nicola. Another young man that's gone through the systems here in New Zealand. Part of the juniors setup and now in the squad of the top team. From Harbour, actually. This is a ground that he's very, very familiar for.
Yeah,
with.
originally from Waikato. He piko i Taniwha, he
True,
piko i Taniwha, and then commuted up here to play for the Roosters club. There's a bit of a Curtis Tompkins thing going on there. And Tirika, ere tomo, tere te kirika kupa.
The gas from Cooper Nicola.
Aye.
There was a moment there I thought maybe the in the park with the 3 bounce to the fence. Cooper Nicola scores the runner of Aaron Golan, and Wellington just like that tie this up.
Yeah, and it's great to see, you know, Te Kirika's got the opportunity. He's got all the tricks of the trade and all the tools in his thing. He's able to put the bunt down. He's able to slap.
Yep.
And then there he shows he's got the power to hit the ball to the fence in the right field. And he's definitely one of the quickest players we have in Aotearoa in the game.
It brings to back the left fielder number 13.
He's definitely got some gas.
I'm pretty sure Wayne would challenge us on that.
Looks like a bear, runs like a deer. Wayne is always up for a challenge. Loves a game within a game, does Laulu. Damon Creasy into bat now. Left fielder. Also out of the PCU club in Wellington.
He captained the under-23s over in Argentina at the World Cup, at first World Cup. So, you know, great to see that these younger guys are still sticking with it and they still have aspirations to play for our top team, to play for Te Kapo Pango, you know, Tōkena Pango. So it's great to see.
Absolutely. Lucky number 13 on his back. Lucky for some.
Gotta love the baker's dozen.
Indeed. We leaves that go through the zone for the strike called. 2-1 the count.
Okay.
3-1 count.
2 ball, 1 strike.
Lucas Sloman on the hill for Hutt Valley. Getting into the work here.
Right.
Hit down the hot corner and just off the glove of Jackson Baldwin. Damon Creasy gets the 2 easy.
Creasy with a hard line drive down the
And he'll,
Nah, back's on the line. The ball's on the line.
he's just looked a bit ginger going into second. Now he's just had a quick stretch. He's all good.
Yeah, it's just first base is a bit slippery, and you know, he went to stand on it and slipped on it going across there. But you know, and the difference between the two sides at the moment, what I see is, you know, the bottom of the order of Wellington, they've continued to manufacture runs and produce runs, whereas on the other side for Te Awa Kairangi, you know, they had 3 strikeouts, you know, with their bottom of the order. So Arawa mai, you know, 5-3. So bottom of the order is producing, and it makes it good for the top of the order for Wayne, you know.
Absolutely. Takes a bit of pressure off them to just do their thing. When you're hitting 1-9, outstanding. Andre Tulava Hart now into bat for Wellington. Goes at the first pitch before the foul.
Tino Tere. Tūraki Wawawata. He's probably wishing that would have gone forward instead of backwards.
Gets over the top of Zarshaw Wallace with a couple bounces to George McGarrow in at left field. And we talk about the lower order being useful for the stick, and they've just scored their 3rd run.
And they've done it with 2 outs.
They have indeed.
You know, so outstanding hitting by the bottom of the order of Wellington, staying within themselves and just driving the ball. That's all they're doing. So great to see. Ko puta e rua. Te awa Kairangi.
Now back to the top of the order with Wayne Laulu.
Ball, back to space. It's going to take a second.
Right. Here we go. One straight back to the umpire, right there, and flush into the mask. You know, take credit off to our Blues. You know, they're there. They don't flinch and they don't move. And sometimes you get the flush ones right there, and you can't do much about it. So, kia kaha, Lance. Ka pai.
What always blows my mind with umpires is the cap and mask. There's no helmet there. There's no nothing. There's no head turning, no flinching, like you said. Because if they do, that's straight to the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, they trust the gear that they got on, and they trust the people in front of them too.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes as a kaihopu, as a catcher, you're going to clip those things just to make it a bit easier, but sometimes you're never going to get it. And,
And it's time for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs.
you know, they talk about catchers being a different breed, but I'm pretty sure the umpires are a different breed.
100%.
Got no glove, can't catch it.
No. Catchers are definitely different breeds, people.
And in the dirt for ball 3-1.
Right. Poi toru. Hokai tahi. A different at-bat you can see here by Wayne.
Yeah, much different from his first at-bat. Adjusting his zone as well with that strikeout called. And that's what the veterans do. They don't argue. They just adjust. Oh, hitting that spot. Great hitting there from Lala.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Andre
Hello.
Tulavaa Hart
Line drive.
goes coast to coast with 1-3.
To right field.
But, you know, once again, you know, Te Awa Kairangi's playing the shift on these hitters, and you're coming up one of our best hitters that in the game today, and you're throwing that pitch, that rise ball on the outside part of the plate, and all he's doing is just putting bat the ball and driving it where he's supposed to do it. So, you know,
Up there, let's get it going.
here we go. As you can see it, coming down there, belt high, too easy a pitch just to drive it the other way by a class hitter of Wayne. Yeah, kapai.
Have we got an official measurement for Wayne's hat yet? Big noggin there. Ramaki into bat now. Runners on the corners. Lala looking for the call from Lutton. But surely, coach, I'm going.
There'd be no way he'll want a DR out there.
Nah. Be like, no deal, mate.
And in the dirt for ball 1-1.
1-1 to count.
You see different at-bats, different plate appearances here, you know, compared to the first innings with Porneke. You know, they've changed, they've adjusted. And they've come up and they've, you know, taken the runs ahead. And that's what you want. You want teams to adjust, and if things aren't working, you need to adjust to make it easier and for the betterment of your team. Can't just continue to do the same thing if it hasn't worked.
No, absolutely not. And this Wellington team is just full of experience and
And
class.
just inside for ball.
1-9, they are threats. The defending champions, actually, winning that final in October 2022 against Auckland. Current champions in the men's NFC, and Hutt Valley the current champions in the women's.
Bottom of the second 2 out.
Lots of championship plaques going back to the 04. All right, who will have the goodies at the end of this one?
Go, go, go ahead.
Stevie Deans
Up Valley.
calls timeout.
2 and 2. 2 outs.
You see Stevie out there, looked the same age for about 20, 30 years. Many years he's spent behind the dish as well. What kind of catcher was Stevie?
He's exactly what you see as a coach. He's always in your ear, always in your face, but very active and very energetic. And that's what you want from a person behind the dish. No matter what the score was or whatever it was, very energetic, very talkative, and a gamer. And that's what you wanted.
Catchers talkative? No way.
It's a bit like
As I look at the one behind you.
But, he's probably just going out there just to saying, hey, we need to be careful here, and let's not just groove the ball with, Jerome. We don't need to make sure, we've still got another pitch up our sleeve. Let's him try to get him to chase us. Because obviously if you're going to groove something, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And, Wellington already got 3 runs here in this innings. You just want to get out of the innings. Just make sure they can get a play somewhere.
You saw Stevie walking Bungle back to the behind the dish and just having those years of experience, just passing it on to the up-and-comer, invaluable.
And there's a pitch right there. There's nothing wrong with that pitch. You know, you're not going to get hurt. Even though it was down, it was still in a good location. It was a 50-50 for the hitter, you know. Wayne's going to be off here with 2 outs.
Raimaki draws a walk, sacked over to 1.
And the flip over.
Nothing
Load the
hurt there.
bases.
Nothing hurt there. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with that walk there. You're not going to get a hurt. You can go to any base right now. There's 2 outs. All they got to do is just make a play on this hitter. So, you know. And I think what happens in our game, we think that because we walked, you know, that hitter right there, we're like, oh, Jesus, you know. There's actually nothing wrong with it. You know, like right there, see?
And that's it. First pitch, Tweeter Bishop
And
sends it straight to Zarshaw Wallace, who drops to the knee, makes the catch, and that will be the 3rd out, getting out of the bases loaded for Wellington, but not before they open their account. With 3 runs, we'll go to the top of the 3rd, with Wellington leading 3-1.
To be the best, fight for what's never been done. Push past the pain. Reach beyond. The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. Someone has to be the best. Why not you?
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here at beautiful Rosedale Park, on sunny North Shore, North Harbour, for day number 3 of the 2024 NFC. Hutt Valley now back to the top of the order. And Bevan, Hutt Valley down now 3-1. They're back to the top of the order. What are they going to look to do this time around?
They just need to continue what they've been doing, you know, only swinging at strikes, you know. Riley hasn't done much pitching. You know, he's been playing in the outfield quite a bit, but because of the stock of Wellington with their pitching department, he has to come in.
Yep.
So he hasn't been throwing too much all year. So they just have to be patient at the plate. It's okay to get a walk because you're getting base runners on, and that's how they scored their first run. That's all they've got to do.
Tane Mumu grounds out to Ramaki at the hot corner, who beats him to the base for the outs.
You know, and I can understand, like, you know, with Tane being a senior member of the team trying to do it, but he just needs to do what he needs to do, you know, for his job. He gets on, he causes havoc because of the speed that he has. You know, we're not, Hutt Valley probably not after him hitting home runs and things like that. Him being on base is just as effective and vital for them at this stage.
That's the one. Well, fouled away is the first offering for Zarshaw Wallace. Zar part of that Junior Black Sox squad that went to Mexico as well.
Yeah, and he's got a future. He's another one that can play catch,
Yeah.
play first base, play shortstop, as we see here in this competition. And it's probably just honing on his skills. You know, this is where I want to play. This is what I want to do.
And a ball up high, 1-1.
Both mum and dad are here. Dad coaching the NFC Hutt Valley women's side, and mum with the junior White Sox. Brother Sage has just turned up to watch on from the dugout as well, I see. Well, down to his counterpart at shortstop,
And Shaw Wallace grounds out.
where Kieran Bolger takes a couple steps to his left and makes the play to Timu at first base, and that will be the second out.
For George McCarroll on deck.
A quick 2 up, 2 down. Another ground out brings to bat George McCarroll, playing at left field. Got the walk in his first at bat. Crossed home plate to score the only run for Hutt Valley. Big swing for that one for the strike. Top of the zone for the ball. 1-1 count.
And George has hit 400 so far in this tournament after day 2.
He sees the ball pretty well, does George?
The thing I like with George is he knows his zone.
Yes, absolutely.
He absolutely knows his zone, and he knows, like when you start to see George hit centre right, that part of the field, he's on.
Yep.
You know, and that's what you want. You know, if he's driving the ball that way, he's seeing the ball well. He's got his zone. He knows his pitch, what he's after. He's got a very good zone. He knows his zone, and that's great to see. See, anno, he koi anno.
Carroll gets a second walk off the game. And that's going to bring to bat Dallas Clifton from the first base. Also had a walk in the first at bat.
Bottom zone. Oi koe tahi, kua puta e rua.
Outside for the 1-1. This is one of the ones I've seen growing up. I used to play a lot of rugby with his uncle, Dion, back in the day. Tai Nui's family friends for 20 plus years. Of course, Kelly now at Clifton. Married to Daryl.
Yeah, I played a few seasons with DC.
I bet you did.
And, you know, he's another one that donned the Black Sox jersey.
George King called leaving early. And that's the quick 1-2-3. So Clifton will retain his spot in the batter's box as we go to the bottom of the third with Wellington leading 3-1.
Sometimes virtual reality begs for more reality. Jack Links is good with it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Day 3 of NFC 2024. Battle of the 04. Hutt Valley taking on Wellington. We're at the bottom of the third.
Right, kua tai mai nei. Corey Timu.
Of course, Curry was in the last at bat when Aaron Gollan got called leaving early. So he's back in the batter's box. Last innings, Wellington sent 9 batters up. They scored 3 runs and left a few on. Bases loaded, actually, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Inside pitch for ball 1. sound of summer around the ballpark with cicadas, families, the cheering. Always a good day down at the ballpark. So if you're not doing this anything this Saturday, and I know a lot around the 09 are still playing their competition games. Well, Corey Timu gets that centered to deep centre. George McCarroll back on the Josh McCarroll back on the fence, but it goes over. Corey Timu sends one, and he'll have a stroll around the bases for himself.
Hey, Corneta. And, you know, we see the pitch here, middle of the plate. And, you know, not enough wind to keep it there. As you see Josh trying to track it, he just run out of room. He tino pai te kairaka Corey.
That brings back the pitcher number 15,
Pai indeed. Well, from one threat to another, Riley Markia steps up to bat. Grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat.
And you can't make mistakes with this team. You know, here he threw it over the middle of the plate. He's got to stay there, keep the ball in tight. It's just getting away from him a bit here.
Loman tries to pull the strings on that one. Hutt Valley back to this setup for the pull hitters. Up top, out of the zone.
And a pitch high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Kia tau. Oh. Got time mai te kai.
Oh, that smells good.
No way.
Shot Rosedale Kitchen for the delivery just now.
Te heke me. No.
Good stop from Shaw Wallace.
Nice play, Shaw Wallace.
Going backhand, able to get up on the pop and get the ball in time over to first base for the first outs.
And those are the things, that's, you know, you make that shift for that play. Like I said before, that's in the hole.
Yep.
There's no way he's going to make that play. That would have been a base hit if they played normal.
Of course.
You know, they're doing the right thing. Kapai.
Jaden Stratford to bat now. Leaves the first offering for a ball. Doesn't hit the zone for the strike. So 2-0.
Kia tau, Lucas. He's just got to settle. You know, he's just sort of, you know, after that home run there, he's just sort of getting away from himself. Just got to stay back his team. You know, the great fielding team that he has behind him. All he's got to do is continue to throw the ball like that.
Umpire Brown takes the count to 2 balls.
Jackson Baldwin, I don't know if you guys can hear the umpire in the background, but Jackson Baldwin questioned that, no way, I took that way, and Lance Brown is saying, nope, no you didn't.
Kia tau, Jackson, settle down. Ooh, tino tata.
And down low for ball, 3-1.
Inside for the 3-1 count. Chopper walking around with the breakfast deliveries, and surprised he's not just having them himself. 3-2 count.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
We have a full count, 1 out.
Gets him swinging on the outside for the strikeouts.
Put out number 2.
Oh, ke kita pai a,
Brings
Jaden.
back the centre fielder. Number 4, Takirika Cooper Nicola. On deck, number 13, Dan Wong. Creasy.
Takirika Cooper Nicola up to bat now. And remember the last innings, there was 2 down, and Takirika came in with that shot to right field. And got that rally going for Wellington. Can he spark it again?
top of the zone there, I would say. Wouldn't go any further on the outside part of the plate.
That's one way to put it, for sure. Gets him swinging, fouled away. 1 ball 2.
Hoitahi, haukai rua, ko puta e rua.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
We count of 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Hutt Valley have their bullpen warming up. Young Jaden Heater. Drilled away. Not a lot gets past Tane Mumu. Especially one like that. And he goes straight towards Caleb Taylor to have a word with him and Lance Brown. Has a quick nod and goes into the dugout, but that retires the side. But not before Corey Tumu sends one over centre field fence. Adds another one to the tally. Wellington still leading this one. 4 runs to 0.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Hangry Moments.
What's your kitty's name?
It's a puma. Thank you.
Jack Link's Jerky, the protein-packed way to feed your wild side.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here at Rosedale Park. The 9 o'clock game here on day 3 of NFC. Wellington taking on Hutt Valley. Dallas Clifton back in the box after leaving early last innings. He grounds out to Kieran Bolger, who makes the play over to first for the first outs.
Ko tai mai nei a Logan O'Leary. Tino pai te epa, ata haere te epa.
O'Leary from the right field scored a walk in his first at bat. Was left on at the end of the innings. Gets a piece, sending it to Jaden Stratford, who makes a routine play to Timu for the second outs. And 4 or 5 pitches later, 2 outs is the. And that will bring to bat the pitcher, designated player as well, Lucas Lowman.
Right, ni tino tere te.
Hit that ball up the middle to score the run. Kieran Bolger did all the hard work, just trying to get the quick out, the third out at second base, with the runners being safe and the runner scoring at home. Outside pitch. Looks like Wellington's bullpen is warming up as well. Davey Rogers and Josh Merritt over there. Called strike.
And inside corner for strike. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Poirua, haukai tahi. Night.
Tries to get it just over Kieran Bolger, but he makes no mistake of that out on this play from Lohman. And that's a quick 1, 2, 3.
Out number 3 retires the side. We now move to
And we will go to the bottom of the fourth with Wellington up 4-1.
To be the best, fight for what's never been done. Push past.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, here at the bottom of the fourth innings. It's Wellington versus Hutt Valley, the battle of the 04.
Here we see old Brad Baker testing the ball. He's still got a few tricks of the trade. He's probably still got some stickum on his hand what he went through in his day. Technology these days.
Indeed. Well, Bevan, I was lucky enough to have Chubb Tangaroa, the battery coach for the New Zealand Black Sox, in the booth yesterday, and I'm going to welcome into the booth the high performance manager of the New Zealand Softball New Zealand, Bevan Martini. Beaver, it's NFC, mate. Yeah, I'm sure you've got around to check out a lot of the games and see some of the players that might be on that list. How have you found the tournament so far?
I think it's been not too bad, actually. It's good to see that our top players are here. But you can definitely see the difference between our senior Black Sox players compared to the ones that are aspiring to be there. What we need to do is we need to make sure that our standards don't drop and our senior boys keep pushing and going further, so that the younger generation are aspiring to be like them and getting up in that area. It's not about our senior members coming down and joining them. It's about for them to come up, and then you flip it over onto the Wahine Ma, to our White Sox side of it, and in the same boat there you can see the senior players that are out there playing. They're the ones that are leading it, and once again they've got to aspire and work hard to get to be a part of it, and that's the only way that our standard's going to lift. If our senior members continue to drop and go back to the younger ones, we're not going to improve and not going to get better. So there's a couple of things there. Our younger ones have got to push and continue to push to make our older ones better and continue to improve. And our senior ones have got to nurture but also keep those high standards and keep it up.
Well said. Well said. Because I'm noticing, especially in the Hutt Valley, with that strikeout there of Creasy going back to the dugout for the first out, and that's going to bring up to bat the right fielder, Andre Tulava Hart. Well, I know with our P1 teams in the Hutt Valley are just getting younger. So there is that one or two experience, but they are very young sides. So how do we close that gap?
Well, I think that they expect, because there's nothing there. Like, someone spoke to me yesterday about it when I went down to the Hutt Valley, and I was with Fabian Barlow, who's here coaching, and came down. And I remember when I first came down, I just come back with the juniors under 19s, and I sat on the bench for the whole year for Hutt City, because they had a guy called Ron Clegorn. He was behind the dish catching, and Jimmy Wana was pitching. And so I learnt my trade from the bench.
Yep.
I came out, probably played one or two innings.
Carried some bags
and all the rest of it. And that's how you learn. But these days when these guys here, what they need to do is they need to understand that, yes, they're playing at this level, but how can I get better? If they don't know, then that's when they need to ask. And that's why, we have the likes of Stevie Deans and the likes of Brad Baker. And obviously Trevor Evans, that's there, the senior members that have seen that high standard of play to help and support them. They've got to continue to increase and get better. We're not after big leaps. We're just after those little gains all the time. And if they continue to do that and be better at the position that they're at and consistently perform on their basic fundamental skills, they're going to do, it's going to come, but don't expect that it's going to come overnight. They say it takes 10 years to be a champion. Well, that 10 years is hard work.
Yep.
And we see it with all sports, it doesn't happen overnight, like there's no way that LeBron James is the person that he is because he just went out and played, He was hours and hours of shooting the ball. And it's the same with the likes of Carl Lewis, the sprinters. They run for 9 seconds, but they don't go out and just run 100 metres and that's it and they're done. It's those things that need to continue. It's about hard work. It's about perseverance, showing some grit. You're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days, but it's okay.
Yep. Well, I mean, part of your role, I'm sure, is encompassing everything about this game, the mental toughness and everything. So, how have you found the mental toughness of our players at the moment? Because it's across the board in all sports, it's a different mentality these days.
Yeah, and what I've seen is when I've come from, because I've come from being in boarding, being a director of boarding and things like that, and what happens is the phone has become a lifeline. That's their life. And you take that away and they struggle. And it's the same here. It's like, because everything's instant now in today's world, they expect things to happen instantly. And it's not until you get the likes of George McCarroll that understand that I have to continue to work hard and work hard day in, day out, and I have to repetition. It might be boring, but that's the only way you're going to get better. It's like anything. When we learn to drive, what happens? You have to continue to drive to get better and better. It's like anything. You've got to go through those failures to be successful. If you don't learn how to get back off your feet and stand up, then how are you going to get better? If you're just going to continue and cry and lie on your back and go, oh, I can't do it, well, you're not going to get better. You're not going to better yourself to be better, to gain those gains.
Yeah, mediocrity and complaining has just become the norm these days, instead of hard work, passion and perseverance. So, well said, Bevan, and awesome to have you in that role. And high performance. Well, the strikeout of Waila Ulu will retire the side, and Hutt Valley needed that. The quick 1, 2, 3. We will go to the top of the 5th with Wellington leading 4-1.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Hangry Moments.
What's your kitty's name?
It's a puma. Thank you.
Jack Link's Jerky, the protein-packed way to feed your wild side.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here at the top of the 5th for the game between Hutt Valley and Wellington on day 3 of NFC 24. Bevan, we were talking about your role with high performance before the break, and question me, like, how are you finding it?
It's good, and it's a good challenge. Spending a lot of time with high performance sport, New Zealand.
Yep.
Been up there for the, obviously the tournament's been going Thursday, Friday, but I've been spending most of my time during that time up there, just setting things straight, making sure that we have things in place that's required from High Performance Sport New Zealand, but also Sport New Zealand as well. Because if we don't have those things in place, then it's very hard to go in regards to investment.
Yep.
And if those systems and structures are not in place, then they're going to question us. How come? Where's this? Where's that? So making sure that I've got those things in place to be able to, for the future of our game.
Yep,
Benchmarks, what does a player need to have at under 15s, under 19s, or under 18s, 23s, and to the men, This is the standard. This is what's required, what you need to do. At this stage, it's not there. And so that's the area that I have to set up because, as a player, you want to know, what do I need to do to get to play for this team? Now, if there's nothing, then how are we supporting our younger generation to aspire to be better?
Of course.
But if there's benchmark testing, this is what's required.
Yep.
This is it. And these are the standards. And this is it. And it's okay if you don't want to do it. That's fine.
Yep.
There's always people out there that are willing to wanting to do and be better and work hard to get those results.
Absolutely. Well, mate, I mean, some people, the armchair critics of Soccer New Zealand, and let's be honest, there's heaps of them, may look at some results and think that we're in pretty terrible situation in Soccer New Zealand. But what are your thoughts on where we're at, as you look to go forward with your role?
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but what you see is other nations have got better.
Yes.
And we haven't got better. And that's the problem is, other nations have got better as they've gone on. But, I spoke about that benchmarking and testing and those sorts of things and understanding the position I play and what do I need to do. About being competent and understanding of playing the game as well.
Yep.
The results haven't gone our way, but we've got to show a bit of mana as well. We've got to show a bit of backbone and go, hey, we actually don't like this. You've got to fight and carry on. It's not good, but, when you look on our White Sox side with our junior girls,
yep.
They're progressing in a way which is great to see. They're going up, finishing number 1 in Oceania, and then heading away to Sao Paulo's given them a good draw, and hopefully they can come through and finish 1 or 2 in their group stage to go to World Cup. Well, that's going to be massive and it's going to be huge to be one of the top 6 teams at that age group.
Absolutely.
Especially in our female game.
Strike 3 out, number 2.
Caleb Taylor goes down swinging for the strikeout for the second outs.
47, Jackson Baldwin.
And that's going to bring to bat from the hot corner, Jackson Baldwin.
So, we spoke about results and things like that. Well, they haven't gone our way, but, hey, that means we've got some work to do.
Absolutely.
And if we're not willing to put in the hard yards, and that's from both sides. That's from my perspective, from me as well, and from the players and from our coaches. We're not willing to put in the hard work to produce results. Then we're going to get what we're going to get, And obviously we got to sit back and review. How can we do things better? And that's what it's about. We've got top teams in New Zealand that are the best in the world and been there for a number of years. We've got to learn lessons from those teams as well.
And a swing of a strike 3.
Well, Baldwin goes down swinging on the strikeout, and it's a quick 1-2-3, all strikeouts in the top of the 5th. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th with Wellington leading 4-1.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Link's jerky made with 100% beef. Jack Link's presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Link's jerky made with 100% beef.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here in the bottom of the fifth with Hutt Valley versus Wellington, with Wellington leading. We battle the 04, 4 runs to 1.
Koe tahi. E tino pai te timata. Luka. Great start by him, coming in with a strike.
Inside pitch.
He's done well against these top two Wellington hitters, Lucas.
Yeah.
Him and Caleb, they've done a great job of keeping them maintained and keeping them off base. You know, obviously Jerome got a walk, but you know he's Waney with 2 strikeouts. Jerome with a strikeout. He's done what he's needed to do to keep them contained.
Ball down. And in the dirt for a ball, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty in this one. We're at the bottom of the fifth. What does Hutt Valley need to do to just get that little oomph and maybe some more runs on the board?
They just need to obviously make those plays like he's doing, keep them off the base, keep, 4 runs is 4-1 at the moment.
Yep.
You know, they're still in contention. What they need is they need their bottom of the order. They need people on base for the likes of Tane, for the likes of George McCarroll to be able to drive those runs in. It's a bit tough to drive runs in when there's no one on base. And those guys are the key people in this team. Where Tane, if he's driving base runners in, then that's a bonus. If George is driving base runners in, that's another bonus. But the guys before them have to get on. They've got to somehow they've got to find a way to get on base for Hutt Valley to have a chance.
Hitting's infectious. So yes, if they can follow each other. Into bat now is Taweta Bishop. Walked in his first at bat, caught by the shortstop in his second at bat. Look at that.
Tane. Karawe.
Wow, Tane Mumu with that set up on the left side to make that play with the dive, bouncing up is here on the replay to make the throw in time to Clifton for the second out.
And that's what you want from Tane too, being the senior
100%.
member in this team. You know, those are the things that continue to lift those younger guys up. You know, they turn around and look at him, and he's just continued to play, and that's what you're after from Tane.
Well, Corey Timu into bat now. The first offering to him is a strike. Cool. Timu grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat and sent it over the centre field fence in his second at bat, scoring just himself as in the lead-up spot.
Just out of the zone for ball, 1-1.
Corey Timu been spending a lot of time in Japan in the off seasons, going over there and doing some catching to Nick Hayes, amongst others.
Ooh.
Just out of reach from Mumu there. But again, if they didn't have their set up the way they do, Bevan, that ball would have been straight to the centre field.
Yeah, and you know, once again, they're trying to minimise the hits from Wellington. As you can see here, as Lucas comes down, you know, probably the mistake right there is over the heart of the plate. You know, sitting right there for me to hit me.
Yeah, Tim is batting well at the moment. Riley Markia into bat now. Aaron Gollan in to do the running for Corey Tumu. Got a bounce off the bat off the base and looked at the base umpire and was like, "Is that cool?"
Well, he got rung up last time he was out there and took off. So, and that's good from Aaron, from a young guy, just checking the relay to see if the umpires, am I okay right there? And that's something that he's learnt. He's made sure he's done an adjustment.
Aaron, top batter at the under-19 Nationals at Fraser Park.
Yeah, but
also part of that junior Black Sox setup that went to the World Cup in Mexico.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs.
From great stock, Davey, his dad. It's called old Graham, but he hasn't come out of the pitching stock of the family. He's an outstanding defensive fielder and a great left-handed speed hitter, and that's what we need in our game.
Do you reckon Davey was ever put out there to be a DR?
He would have backed himself.
Absolutely.
Safe. Hit bite.
No, ball in. That one.
Hit bite.
Well, Gollan steals second base. Tane Mumu questions it. Says he was in the right position. Of course he does.
And the difference between that is that you're taking the body compared to the legs, and the legs already gone through you. A great call there by the Blue.
And we've got a count of 3-1.
3-1 the count. Riley Markia into bat.
Inside corner.
Clips the inside corner for the call strike.
Brings about a full
Riley grounded out to shortstop in his last at bat. He had that beautiful hit through second base when there was no second baseman there in his last at bat. And he finds a gap in between 5-6. Gollan's going to round third and easily to come into home. Lance Brown finds himself in the way for a second. Riley Markia drives in a run, giving Wellington their 5th run of the ball game.
And as you can see right there, they went off the shift. Tane went back to play normal, and that's something that they've made one change right there, which has hurt them. If he stayed where he was, that's the ball, the same spot where it went last time. That's an out. Just those little things that they make adjustments that could hurt. If they still stayed and backed and trusted what they had set in place, it would have been a different story. Jerome trying to get things he can get out there and run.
Wasn't out there long. Yes, they had to clarify who it was, and
Corey's got a bit more speed, I think. Just a tad.
Corey might have had that look like, oh, this is what I miss about catching. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hit here from Wellington. Standing out there swinging a bat is Joel Harris from the Pōneke Kilburnie Club.
And to have someone in your dugout come out, like Joel, who's not, he can't make the lineup, to come off the bench and swing the bat for you, it's
not
another
bad.
threat.
Yeah, absolutely. He's coming out for Stratford, who's got 2 Ks next to his name.
And inside corner for strike.
So, Coach Gene Lutton trying something up.
Number 19, Joel Harris.
And I've seen it before many times, Joel come into the game and just place it or send it over the fence or whatever. He's impact for sure.
And on the wild pitch,
What is Corey Timu up to?
A catch-a thing
Yeah,
going on
indeed,
there.
indeed. Go on. Go on, Bungle.
Yeah. I dare.
Yeah. I think he's enjoying the base running out there. 1-1 the count.
Mate, he tino pai te pa.
Swung on a miss for strike 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hoi tahi, hau kai rua. Ko puta e rua.
And sends it to right field.
Got him out.
With Logan O'Leary makes a diving catch to make the third outs.
Out in right field.
And get some stains on those white pants that we're probably going to have to clean in the office next week.
He tino pai te hopu O'Leary right there. A bit of an inside-out swing there. They tried to stay inside, but Joel was good enough to drive the ball the opposite way.
Well, we're going to go to the top of the 6th, ladies and gentlemen. But not before Wellington add one more run to their total. They now lead this one 5-1. Back up.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the 6th innings here on the 9 o'clock game here on day number 3 of National Fast Pitch Championship 2024. Wellington up over Hutt Valley 5-1. And Tane Mumu on base for Hutt Valley to lead off. And that's going to bring to bat the shortstop Zarshaw Wallace.
He tino pai te kai rākau a tānei, staying within himself, getting the base hit, creating runners, saving outs, and that's what Hutt Valley's got to do, Te awa kairangi, they've got to save their runner, keep people coming up to bat, the more they can do that, the more people they can get on base, they have opportunities to score runs.
Absolutely. Riley Markey is still on the hill for Wellington.
And that was
Sure
his
Wallace.
second hit he's given up of the game.
Yeah.
Let's take a time out.
Mumu safely around to second on the pass.
Not too bad for an outfielder.
Yeah, part-time pitcher.
Tane Mumu now standing up on second base. Zarshaw Wallace squaring up, and then the ball go past for the 1-1 count. Bishop gives Markey the call.
All good in the box.
Trying to manufacture those runs one base at a time. Dead ball the call from Brown behind the dish.
And that's what they've got to do. They've got to get Tane to third.
Yep.
Zar, at his at bat, somehow he's got to get him to third to make it easier to, come home. 18 metres, it's a whole lot easier, especially with George coming up.
18.288, not 60 feet.
Poirua, Haukairua.
2-2, none out here in the top of the 6. Valley chasing a 5-1 lead from Wellington. Swung on a miss by Sarshaw Wallace, but he gasses it to 1. That will move the runner of Tane Mumu. And Hutt Valley have runners on the corners now.
Time's out. Time's out. Time's out.
Yeah, and that's what you got, like a miss there by Tawera, which, it could end up being costly for them. That's an out that they needed. It would have left the runner on second base, Tane on second base, and it's just a bit of a sloppy play right there. And it's given a guy, George McCarroll coming up, and it's the right person to have up, for Te Awa Kairangi. He's coming up, base runners on. He's got a great zone. He's had 2 walks. And they have to be careful.
Well, Stevie comes out, has a quick corridor with his lineup. George McCarroll into bat now, where he's got two walks to his name. Mr. Consistent is Jorge. George McCarroll. He's had an absolute stellar last 18 months, has George. 117s, 119s, won the secondary schools with St. Patrick's College Silverstream. Gets a pass, Corey Tumu. That's going to score 1. Shaw Wallace into 3, and McCarroll sliding into 2.
E tino pai te kairakaua George Karawe. Ka patua te poro, ki te rohe mātou, and drives in a run. And that's what you want. You want them to get on, and that come back to Tane. Tane just being a base runner on. Being a base runner.
You have to run over here.
Stay in your dugout. We want the game to move along. It's not a concrete wall, there's mesh fencing. Stevie, you can talk to him through the mesh.
Indeed, you don't have to be out there.
Kia tere te kēmu. When you look at it, base runners on, Hutt Valley scored the runs, great job by George. And the other ones have just got to stay within themselves, put bat to ball to score these runs.
And still none out here at the top of the 6. Valley chasing down what was 5-1, now 5-2. Daly can hit when he needs to. And he leaves that for the outside ball. Count goes 1-1. The only New Zealand hat I have in the collection at home is Dallas's from the 2018 World Cup. Proudly hung up in the Beyond the Dugout studio. I mean, my office at home.
And once again, Dallas has just got to stay and swinging at good pitches. If he does that, all he's got to do is put the ball in play and put the pressure back on Wellington, on Paul Nicky.
1-2 count.
All down.
Outside will level the count 2-2.
Outside for Ward, 2-2.
Park's starting to fill up, and it'll be chock-a-block this morning, today, here at Rosedale, with the Northcote Juniors over to, I can see to the left, as well as multiple games being played today, as well as the 2024 NFC on Diamond 1, 2, 9, and 10. Something like 10 or 12 diamonds here. Rung him up on the inside. Dallas was making his way to first base, but unfortunately that'll be the out. But the first one.
E tū teko ana, ho ke kita pai. That's what te awa kairangi didn't need. They didn't need, they needed anything. 50-50, you got to put bat to ball.
Yeah. Logan O'Leary gets the call to square up and put down a squeeze maybe. But with runners on 1 and 2 and having first base open, they can run at their will, but they don't have to. O'Leary fouls that off for strike one. We bounce that one down, foul ball.
Interesting to see here, like Zah's not even breaking for home. So I'm not too sure if if Zah's missing the signals or it's just they just want him to put the ball, the bunt play down and see what Wellington's going to do.
Yeah.
It's not likely that a number 5 hitter should be bunting in this situation with runners in scoring position.
And again, leaving the strikes for the strikeout call for out number 2.
E tū teko ana, ke kita pai. Kua tai mai nei, ka hoki ki te kaumātua o te tīma o te awa kairangi, a Thomas Cameron.
Old TC.
Right.
Oh, Benny. Up to pinch hit here. Had a bit of a calf strain on day number 1. Here's the elder statesman. We're talking about how young this team is, and Benny definitely probably evens out a couple of it. Started his career in Auckland through Mount Albert Ramblers, made the shift to Wellington for PK, and now playing his wares at Hutt City United in Lower Hutt, and they're going to essentially walk. Thomas Cameron, TC will make his way to first base, and no doubt will get the runner of Jakan Roberts to come out. Surely time is called.
And if you look at that, smart play by Poneke. There's no need to pitch to a guy that's more likely to hurt you than Josh McCarroll coming up, loaded bases, but who knows? Anything can happen.
Absolutely, a game of moments as well as inches is softball. And will it be Josh McCarroll's moment? He leaves the first offering. That's okay, he's still got 2 more strikes up his sleeve.
Poneke just playing, Josh has had 2 strikeouts, 2 at-bats, and you're looking at the people that come behind Benny.
Absolutely.
And you bet your chances against them. But, you get 3 pitches.
Through the zone for strike called. Brad Baker not looking happy. If you want to chase a lead, you cannot leave strikes on the diamond. McCarroll in the hole, 0-2. Inside for the 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right, e tino pai, Josh.
Just outside for ball.
Poirua, kairua, kua puta irua. All he's got to do is just put the ball in play. Anything can happen if he puts the ball in play. There you go.
Gets there, and it gets over the head of Bolger. They're going to score 1. They're going to score 2. Jakan Roberts, round second. Baker says no way. And Josh McCarroll goes from 2 strikeouts to double with 2 RBIs. And that margin is getting all the smaller.
Yeah, and if we go back to where it's all come, you know, we're looking at the pitch right here. Coming another change up, just too high, just hung it right there, and Josh did the right thing. All he did was just stay within his limits, bat to ball, punch it over the infield, and drives in 2 runs right there. Karawi, te awa kairangi.
Good gap there in between 6, 7, 8. Inside pitch to Caleb Taylor for the ball. Father Stacey Taylor's just been named the Developing Stocks intern coach, is it?
Hey, coach.
Coach, yeah, coach. Many years in education has Stacey had. Can spin a good yarn, tell a good story, and the way he can communicate with the youth is pretty special as well. So wish you all the best in that role, mate. I know you're going to do great things. Unsure about having Robbo still around though, but whatever. Yeah, you know I love you, Robbo.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
2-2 the count.
Yeah, and here we are, the same situation. Caleb's in the same situation as Josh. All he's got to do is just put bat to ball. Tu teko ana, o keke tapai.
And he sees it go down for the strikeout called, and he'll go back to the dugout with the hood. And we are going to the bottom of the 6th, ladies and gentlemen, but not before Hutt Valley claw 3 runs back. We've got a tight ball game. It's 5 runs to 4. Back after these.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Hangry Moments.
What's your kitty's name?
It's a puma. Thank you.
Jack Link's Jerky, the protein-packed way to feed your wild side.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Link's Jerky made with 100% beef.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the bottom of the 6th innings with Wellington versus Hutt Valley on day number 3 of NFC 2024. Damien Collins in the booth for Ballpark Broadcasting. Calling the colour is Bevan Martini.
No, he tino pai te kairākau a te awa kairangi. You know, it started off with Tānei Mumu, he's come back, you know, and he just got on base. And that was the key for them to score all those runs. He created the spark that they needed, and he done a great job bringing them back in the ball game.
Yeah, you said that the leader needs to step up and make it happen. Te Kira Cooper Nicola puts down the bunt, and did you see that gas? Almost been it out, but he is out with Loman getting there in time.
He tino pai, Lucas.
Quick. So quick.
Nice.
Sure, his little brother up in the stands,
Let's
pulled it before.
Zach for a second. Yeah.
Had him. I was lucky enough to have that young fella play for me at the under-23 tournament we had at Fraser Park in Labour weekend. He got to wear the blue and gold as well.
Thank you.
Oh, hope you took a picture.
Oh yes, I sure did.
Who knows what could happen with that young fella in the history of...
There he is.
Field
Just
Cup.
walked into the
Ai, kua tai mai nei, Zach Boyd.
Zach Boyd. Well, that's not a bad fella to come off the bench either.
Yeah, well, he's been working hard. He's training to be a fireman. So he's missed the first 2 days of the competition. And obviously trying to look after post-career employment. And he's been tied up doing that stuff. So, you know, as you can see, he's rocked in and donned the colours of Poneke. And he's coming to bat, bringing him in for a pinch hit.
Not a bad pinch hit to have.
Same.
Zach Boyd has worked really hard on his game over the last few years. I remember him being read out at the qualifiers last year, and I sent him a text of congratulations because I knew how much it meant to him, and it really did. It really did. There was a special moment he worked his whole life towards, and getting a chance to be part of that Black Sox setup is what he was all about.
Boy Toru.
3-0 count.
Right, he tino pai te kai rākau Zach.
And Boyd draws the walk, safe over to one. Just one out.
With one down and a runner on one, that's going to bring to bat number 1-1, Andre Tulava Hutt, playing out of the right field in this one. He had that great hit to left in his first at bat, caught by the shortstop in his second. Boyd with the stance of, I'm going to run. Oh.
Right. Ni tino tiri Zach.
They didn't get that one. Must have been perfect timing.
Yep, he's come in, caught her on the hop. Right.
Boyd now on two. Tulava Hearts with the 1-0 count. Massive lead from Boyd.
Obviously got quicker after carrying all those things up the stairs to be the fireman. Lost a bit of weight.
He's got a great slug on the face of his last couple of years.
Just needs to grow those handlebars.
3-0 count here.
Okay, you're good.
Time call from Lohman. He just wants to clarify a few things with his catcher, Caleb Taylor. Both have had a few games together this season out of the Hutt Valley Maris Club, under the coaching staff of Stacey Taylor, Scott Robertson, Michael Foot now and then when he's around.
Footy.
Happy birthday, Robbie. His birthday today. Lots of birthdays actually today. Rongamai Luke Royal, the pitcher for Hutt Valley Women's. Tracy Torpia, she's here as an official scorer. And a young man by the name of Brad Roney. You might have heard of him. He's having a birthday today as well.
Hari huri tau ki a kaitai. E rā mokopuna.
Oh, the foul ball comes over from Diamond 2. Hits Lala on the bounce, doesn't even flinch.
All right, let's have another crack.
Hoi toru. Ko puta, ko tahi.
The bunt going down, first base foul.
Ricky, on two.
Hari huri tau Tracy. Yeah, she just walks past us.
Timing. Oh, not that she's watching the stream, but Chopper's sister's birthday as well today. Happy birthday, PJ. Fouled away. Chopper's probably just like, oh, is it?
Poi toru. Hau kairua.
2 ball, 2 strikes.
And Wellington wouldn't want to be wasting an opportunity out there with this runner in scoring position, especially in the bottom of the 7th, just to get a bit more cushion. Right.
Lohman gets him looking. Tulavaha Hart turns around to throw the bat back to the Wellington dugout and gets rung up by Lance Brown behind the dish.
E tū teko ana. Andre, ke kita pai. Ko puta e rua.
And a bat, Wayne Laulu. K-Seater's first at bat.
E apa, ke atu pato, kai tau.
Another massive foul ball from Lala. K-Seater's first at bat had that beautiful placement to right field in his second at bat and went down swinging in his third. But you know the rule, 1 out of 3 ain't bad in the career. Lala knows how to pick his battles.
Pull down.
Kai tahi. Poi tahi. No kai tahi. Ko puta e rua.
You can see teams walking into the stadium around the park for the next games, the 11 o'clock games, which we're already over. So maybe next tournament might be 2.5 hour breaks. If we're going to start it this way, it's going to be a long day. Lohman with the wind up, inside pitch to Lala.
Poi rua. Hau kai rua. Kia Wainei.
2 ball, 2 strikes.
And it's count 2-2, 2 outs.
2-2. Lohman has his call from Taylor. 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Tries to get the inside. Has rung up a few. Ball called.
3 ball, 2 strikes.
Right. Poi toru. Hau kai rua. Ko puta e rua.
Outside, 4-4-4. And Lala will make his way to first base. Stevie Deans comes out. Sprints out, actually.
Aye, aye.
Probably wants to be behind the dish again. No. Who would do that to himself?
2 different situations you got coming up here, you know, with Jerome. He's probably out there, you know. You're not going to get any cheap strikes against Jerome. But, also, you know, you have to be very careful, you know, whether they stick him on base and load the bases and then you got any base with Taweta up, or, you know, you have a crack at him and back yourself. But, you know, Te awa kairangi will want to walk away here with only chasing 1 run, not chasing 3 or 2, you know, or even 1 more.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Jerome Raumaki. One of those elite hitters our country has had for a few years now. Many years over at the ISCs in North America. Many years wearing the fern for the New Zealand Black Sox as well. Calm under pressure, experience better. someone you'd love to have in the batter's box for this situation.
Foul ball.
Smashes it down. First base.
Yeah,
For the foul.
And the Awakairangi are playing the field, they're playing for him to hit that way. They've brought Zah across to play on that side to close those gaps, and they're doing the right thing. They're backing themselves. Lucas he's just got to put it in the right spot.
Ball takes the count to 2-1.
Oirua, Hukaitahi, ko puta, e rua.
Fouled away. Tried to give that a ride. He did, Rome.
Tūraki wawata. Jerome. I bet you he was wishing to get that pitch back again. It was a bit too close for comfort there, Lucas. Oirua, Aukairua, ko puta e rua.
All the twos.
E apa. E tino pai te pakanga Jerome me Lucas. Good battle going on here. Lucas is trying to sneak it in there, and Jerome's just hanging in there, just fouling it off, doing what he needs to do.
Okay, on the clock now. Right.
Man, you know quite well walking past Mike Walsh.
Yeah, and great to see them turn up to the park. He's driven up from Wellington. Arrived up on Thursday to continue to watch and support what's going on.
Romy gets a piece out. That's all fair all day. He's going to score Boyd. He's going to score Lala. And he's going to go waltzing into second base with a stand-up double. Romy showing that class and what he can do with that bat to give Wellington a little bit of breathing space here in the bottom of the sixth.
No, hiti no pai. Te kai rākau Jerome.
And brings back the captain of 18 to Willa Bishop.
But well done by Zach. It all started. Zach got the walk, got them in a situation to be able to score those runs in Wayne. So, Karawe extends the lead. The Pōneke.
It's not going to get easier for Hutt Valley with Tueta Bishop into bat now. Walked his first at bat, caught by the shortstop and then grounded out to the shortstop. But he's got a stick for sure, does Bo. Goes top of the zone, skies that up to...
And Damien, we go back to the situation, it's the bottom of the order for Wellington that's causing these runs. They're the ones that are getting on base. They're the ones that are creating opportunities for the top of the order with the likes of Jerome to drive those runners in. And that's the difference. That's been the difference in the game so far, is that bar from Josh McCarroll driving those runs in, that's been the difference.
Well, it was like that game Auckland Harbour last night. Don't get me wrong, Nick Hayes owned the hill and did all he could to sit North Harbour down. But how Auckland manufactured their runs was just taking base by base, just doing it that way instead of the massive hits. I think there was only about 5-6 hits in the game, but the scoreline didn't say that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you always run it out. The drop third strike and then went under the glove of Dallas Clifton. Luckily, Tane Mumu was there to clean it up. Or else Taweta Bishop had all the time in the world getting to first base, but he did take his time, and he will be the third out, but not before Jerome Ramaki does what he does and drives in a couple runs. Wellington lead this as we go to the top of the 7th. 7 runs to 4.
When it comes to the showdown, instinct always wins. Jack Lynx is good with it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the top of the 7th innings here on day number 3. The first game on Freeman Field, Diamond 1 at Rosedale Park. Hutt Valley taking on the neighbours Wellington. Wellington leading this one 7 runs to 4. But we're at the top of the 4th, and Wellington got their Hutt Valley got their things together in the last at bat. Maybe they can do again.
Your guys pitching with it as well.
Lance always pretty honest with them.
It is a little bit black. I didn't see the first.
Yeah.
Gives a little something.
And Lance is right, you know, that both pitchers are pitching with the same ball. So, you know, like coming into it, you know, and it's probably a situation that they've got to, you know, someone else is, you know, throw that ball out, get another ball in, and let's go. You know, if that's the issue and it's too dark, you know, we've got plenty of balls. Let's go. Let's keep the game moving.
Look at that smile from Lala. He's had a laugh with Baker. Baker showing how he used to do it.
Well, I don't, you know, that's how Brad's ball started the game. not in the 7th, so it's interesting. But hoi anō, hoki ki te kēmu. Let's get back to the game and get into it, you know.
Jackson Baldwin leading off, 1 and 2 the count.
And he's got a job here. His job is to get on base. That's what his job is right here. You know, he's got to get on base for the likes of Tane and for George, for them to have a chance of getting back, you know, these runs.
Yeah.
You know, he can't be going out there trying to hit to the fence and scoring that run. You know, he's got to be having good quality at bat here and being on base, however he does it.
That's the one. Jackson been playing P1s for Hutt City United for the last couple of years. Ooh.
No.
The strikeout called.
And that pitch has been there all day. You know, Lance has been consistent. You know, you can't turn up to the 7th innings and complain about that pitch. You know, he's been there right on the spot from that first strikeout that's taken it. And that's what I like to see from an umpire, you know, is consistency.
Yep.
You know, not to be in and out, you know. And karawea, Lance.
Well, that's the first one down. Now it's going to bring to bat the top of the order, Tane Mumu. First offering is through the zone for the strike call. Hutt Valley, 2 more outs up their sleeve. Outside pitch to take the count to 1-1.
Time is out. 12 seconds. Yeah. Ah, well. It's a reset.
So I was thinking, oh, well, let's just go again.
But you know the good thing with that they have that 20-second clock going, and that's good because our players that go away to international softball, that's what they've got to,
100%,
and we've got to continue to replicate what happens for our top softballers going into the World Cup, going into those international competitions.
So what you're saying is get rid of the pitching mats around the country, isn't
Correct.
it?
We're the only country that
exactly,
has it.
my friend. Exactly.
And we expect our pitchers to pitch on a mat, and then they've got to try to adjust within a week or 2 weeks as soon as we hit the road to do it. And it's good to see here for our men. It's a bit different for a woman because they've got to come out and there's going to be holes all over the place for them, and they're not having a surface. But it'll be nice in a realistic world to have a set women's diamond and a set men's diamond where nothing gets changed. That's the dimensions, and that's what happens. It'd be really nice if we could get there, but
Well, watch this space in Whakatiki Park, I tell you. There'll be the women's diamond there in no time. Kane Mumu. Shit. Harbour Valley needed that.
Right. Karawe. And that's, that's what I was speaking about before, is our top ball players set the standard and continue to improve.
They need to take those moments.
And like
100%.
you saw there, like that's a base hit, and you take the younger generation, they might have not have stretched there and got to second, but with Tane, he knows the importance of him being there and getting to second for an opportunity. Now, it's up to our younger generations to watch him play and to get up there with him, be with him, be beside him, push him.
I like what you said earlier in the broadcast. Them staying at where the elite staying at the elite level and not dropping their standards, so the other ones are coming up. You got to work hard. You got to have those people to chase, and just keep on driving and pushing yourself to be in those situations and be that guy one day.
Yeah, and you've got to challenge them. You've got to be able to do it. If you want to play, and like we say, you spoke about earlier, we've got Hutt Valley's got a lot of young boys playing in a men's competition.
Yep.
Well, understand it's a men's competition. It's not an age group competition. It's a men. So you're playing with men. That's going to be hard. It's going to be fast. But that's how it's played.
Yep.
Hold down.
Ooh.
Easy. All right, guys.
Right. And that's what I mean. Play the game hard.
Yeah.
But fair. It doesn't need to be dirty. And that's what it's about. The only way we're going to get better if we have those challenges like that. And it's hard and it's fair. It's not dirty. It's just part of the game.
Yep. Tony Mumu getting flashbacks of his Scots College rugby days.
Yeah. And we're not going to get that. Canada ain't going to do that.
Nope.
Canada not going to be soft on us.
Nope.
So we've got to bring that into our game to be successful and being competitive.
Absolutely. Zashua Wallace in the bat now in the 2 spot for Hutt Valley. Again, the consistency from Lance behind the dish. Pitchers are hitting those corners and he's calling them.
Yeah, and as hitters, we just have to adjust. We've got to adjust. We can't just go, oh, well, no, that's a ball. He's been there he's been there or thereabouts all day. So you've got to adjust. You're coming up for your third or fourth at bat.
100%. Yeah. Can't complain if you're not going to change anything. If it ain't work, fix it. Shaw Wallace pops up where Jaden Stratford has no problem making that catch, and that will be the second outs. So with a runner on two down here in the top of the 7th, Hutt Valley down by 3 runs. They're going to send to bat George McCarroll, who's been Mr. Consistent. Got a walk in his first at bat and scored. Got a walk in his second at bat. and then hit that beauty shot under the glove of Corey Timu to start that rally and drive in a couple runs in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, and this is who you want. You want one of your better players in this situation coming up where the percentage-wise of him getting a hit is higher than other people in the box, you know, and he's going to give you that, you know. In Wellington, they'll be aware, Riley will be aware that George is one of their better hitters up there. The other one's standing on second base, but they just have to be aware, you know.
Yep. Riley Mark here in his 7th innings on the hill. And this is what you want from, you know, like George, even though he's young, he's playing like an experienced player right here. You know, he's not going out and trying to drive in and hit the home run here. He understands the situation. They need base runners. You know, even though they're pitching around them and what's happening here, you know, he's 3 balls. You know, he's got confidence that the guys coming up behind him gonna have a good at bat and drive those runners in. Yeah, we can always rely on George to get the pitcher to throw a few more pitches than they normally would. Pitch selection for George is always quite good. And with 4 straight, he's going to make his way to first base.
Yeah, go, if you want it. I'm with you if you want it,
Yeah. You know, and here we go. You know, comes the tie and run to the plate. And you look at the guys that are on the base path, they've created it. Mm-hmm. They're the senior members of this Te Awa Kairangi team. You know, that they've done what they needed to do. Now it's for other people to step up and drive these runners in.
That's the one. Dallas Clifton into bat for Hutt Valley.
Gets
a piece, gets it in between 4-3. They're going to score Tane Mumu. George McCarroll goes from 1 to 3rd.
Let's go real quick, over there, yeah.
And Clifton will get the runner of Jakan Roberts. And Dallas Clifton needed to find that gap for his team, and he did. Tane Mumu going from 2nd to home. George McCarroll from 1st to 3rd. Jakan Roberts going to come out and do the running for Clifton. Well done, Delhi.
And that's all created by putting base runners on base.
Yep.
And it's the senior members of Te Awa Kairangi that's created it. You know, and the guys like Dallas coming up, you know, he's been there before. It's his job to do. That's why he's hitting in the 4 spot.
Yep.
He's done his job. You know, they've got 1 run closer. They've got another one that's not that far away either. Pass ball situation, George will get in there.
Logan O'Leary, he had a walk in his first at bat, K in his 2nd, and a KC in his 3rd. So now's your time to see the strikes and swing the bat, kid. Jakan Roberts safe at 2nd base.
2-1 count here, 2-1. Ball is up.
Tueda was on his way back to the dugout thinking it was game over. Time to take off all the gear.
2-1 up there.
Interesting play, but you know, you got to back yourself to do it. You know, 2 outs.
Two balls, 1 strike. Straight through the zone for a strike called. 2-2 count.
Brings a tie and run to 2nd base.
2 ball, 2 strike.
Logan O'Leary.
Ball in.
Leaves the ball inside. 3-2 the count. 2 down here at the top of the 7th. Valley down by 2 runs with 2 scoring runners on. And the hack away will be, that will be game over.
Right.
With that 3rd strike and that 3rd out, leaving 2 runners on. Hutt Valley go down to Wellington in the Battle of the 04 here on day 3 of NFC 7 runs to 5. Bevan, another tight battle between the two. A lot of experience against a lot of youth. Obviously, Hutt Valley will be disappointed, but they should be holding their heads held high to take it this close to this experienced Wellington side.
Yeah, and as long as they take the stuff out of it for this young team to build for the future. You know, they need to take these things. Obviously, it showed that they didn't have the depth to be able to drive those runners in after the four hitters. You know, and well done, sticking in the game. You know, they showed some grit, showed some determination and a bit of fight, and that's what you want. You know, you don't want to be just lying down and going for it. But, karawe, he tino pai te kemu.
Well, we've just gone a bit over for that 11 o'clock start. It's 11:25, so coming up on Diamond 1, it is North Harbour versus North Harbour. That's right, it's 1-2. They've got the showcase here on Diamond 1. Lastly, Bevan, we saw some great plays from some great talent out there, but who was your Ballpark Broadcasting player of the match?
Obviously, like, there's a number one, you know, and I look at Te Awa Kairangi, you had George and you had Tāne. You know, they were the standouts from their team. They created opportunities, made plays in the field. You know, Tāne made some outstanding plays, but if you look on a whole, probably Riley Makia, you know, on the hill for Wellington, given up probably 3 or 4 hits, but also with his batting, I think he went 2 for 4 or, you know, 2 for 3. So, well done.
Outstanding. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us wherever you are for this one. Stick around because there's plenty more to come on day 3 of the 2024 National Fast Pitch Championship. On the behalf of Bevan Martini, I'm Damien Collins. On the behalf of Ballpark Broadcasting and Atiawa Toa FM, Softball New Zealand and the North Harbour Softball Association, we're going to take a break, but we'll be back with Harbour versus Harbour coming up soon.